Hello and welcome back to Brick Gaming YGO. Today I'm going to bring an updated deck profile for my Eldlich Shaddoll Dogma deck, and I'm going to show some changes and some different ideas I've had for the upcoming format, as well as Drytron and Tri-brigade Zoo becoming more popular in recent weeks. So this is going to be my updated deck profile, and I went X-1 with it. At locals. So before I get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I would highly recommend it, and let's get straight into the video. So first off, for the main deck, I am still playing 60 cards. It's really hard to play all these engines and not play 60, but I think I went with more preferable ratios overall. So first off, I play Triple Ecclesia. You want to see this card like as much as possible. It gets you into punishment or into your fleur-de-lis. And I decided to cut out Maximus just because it doesn't really do enough right now, in my opinion. And there's just so many decks that are going around where just if you send cards from their extra to the graveyard, they get as much advantage as you do. So I decided to go with this engine instead. Yeah, I felt like it was more preferable. And also fleur-de-lis, it allows you to do more damage with this deck, so it's very, very nice to have, as well as the monster negate. Then for the Shaddolls, I played double Windy. So I moved up Windy by one copy because I felt like Windy was a better card if you were to draw a copy of it compared to Beast. So I cut down Beast by one copy, so I'm only playing one Beast now. And I feel like it's better overall because Windy's at least a summon if you draw into it with nothing else, or if you draw into it and you don't have any fusions. It just is a lot easier to play around with versus Beast, where if you draw into it, there's not really an easy way to get him onto board. Next, I play one copy of Squamata. I've been considering switching this card out for Hedgehog, but so far Squamata has been doing pretty well. It's an extra ditch. It allows you to feel Schism more, so I kind of like it at this point. And then finally, I play one copy of Ariel. Ariel is really good against pretty much everything. Just getting that triple banish from your opponents or from your own graveyard is just a really big plus and is very nice. Next, for the Eldlich, I just play two Golden Lords in this deck. Golden Lord is pretty decent. You want to play 3 because at 3 it's way too many copies. So I just decided to stick to the 2 copies. Next, I play triple Ash Blossom. Ash is really good just because generic can also make Synchro 8s with this deck. It is an option since all the continuous Eldlich, Golden Land cards are level 5s, so you can just go into synchro plays. Also, it's just probably the most generic hand trap in the game at this point, so I feel like it's just really good in this deck. Then I play triple copies of Nibiru. So I like Nibiru because against combo decks, it's just a free dub, so I really like it for that reason. But it's also light, so even if you're playing against a deck that's not going to be making a lot of summons, you can summon it off, send it off of Shaddoll Fusion and get out of your deck and prevent future bricks. So for that reason, I think it's one of the best hand trap options. The other best option I feel like would have been Lancia, but I'm still playing around with that card because that card can be really hit or miss. As well as Nibiru, it can also be hit or miss, but it really comes down to what I worry about more. Then for, of course, Dragoon package, I of course have to play the Red Eyes Beak Dragon and the Dark Magician, because gotta make Dragoon. Dragoon's just super good. Then for the spells, I play first off triple Nadir Servant. Nadir is just really amazing. It gets you everything you want. It's like a +3 or +4. I could definitely see this card getting hit, but it's still so good that you have to play triple copies just because it gets you so much advantage. Then I play triple Curse Outland. Outland is just really good as well, because it allows you to search out for pretty much any of your Golden Land or Eldlich cards. So it's really nice, and it allows you to get like more advantage going second by searching out an Eldlich or Golden Boy, and then sending him to the graveyard with a spell or trap, and just outing cards on your opponent's side of the field. Then I play triple Red Eyes Fusion. I feel like so after playing around with it a little bit, I cut out Red Eyes Insights and Wyvern. It's got random numbers, and even though it doesn't really affect you like drawing bricks that much in 60 cards, it still increases the odds by like over 50% to see a brick or to see multiples. So I want to swim down that engine as much as possible because it's just super easy to brick on that engine. If you don't see your Golden Land stuff to like without, like, saying an insight or saying a fusion. Just not very good. And also, people only ever Ash fusion, so it's good Ash bait. But on top of that, playing triple, you're going to eventually get out Dragoon with your Red Eyes fusions. So I just felt like this was a better concept overall, and it did work out a lot better. I saw fewer bricks this week, and I saw more like playable cards. So for that reason, I think Red Eyes fusion is just better at 3 and then cutting out the insights. But that's just for me personally, and I'm called Brick Gaming YGO because I do brick a lot. So yeah, reducing bricks is always a good idea. And then I'll play triple Shaddoll Fusion. You just want to see this card all the time. It's super good going second. It can be good going first. Also good Ash bait if you have something more valuable you want to use. So I think Shaddoll Fusion is just really amazing as a card. Then I play one Elixir of the Black Awakening as the final spell. And I play one because if you see it going first, it's pretty good. And if you don't see it going first, it just gives send targets off of Golden Ward, or it can make the difference in you not getting like beaten down too much. So overall, I think Black Awakening's just a good one of. You don't want to play more than that because otherwise it starts getting really cloggy. Then moving on to traps, I play triple Conquistador, and I also play triple Hawk Hero. So the reason I play this ratio now, well, I've actually pretty much only played this ratio, is because like when I was testing around by like cutting down one Hawk Hero, I realized that you actually want to see these cards as much as possible, because they're just super good. They allow you to create bodies. Sometimes this deck, well, since this deck plays a pretty low monster count, it's just good to have bodies. And so I was like, yeah, Hawk Hero and Conquistador both really good. And also Hawk Hero in some matchups is just super good on a local level. So I decided to just stick with the triple Hawk Hero. Also, it was the MVP at locals because during my third round I played against Orcust. And I was able to beat Orcust because I just kept banishing their graveyard with Hawk Hero or with Ariel, and that pretty much ended up winning me the game. So that's like one example where Hawk Hero came up quite a bit. Otherwise, it comes up off and on. Conquistador is just always good at 3. Always want to play 3, always want to see that card. Then I play triple Scarlet Sanguine. Sanguine is also just a really amazing card, because it allows you to just grab a Golden Ward from deck, as well as like from graveyard, so you can play around like DD Crow and other stuff with Sanguine. Then for the rest of the traps, which a lot of these are more generic traps, I play triple Imperm. Imperm is really good this format because Fafnir is a card. Tri-brigade monsters really rely on getting their effects off first turn, like especially like Kiraz. So I feel like playing Infinite Impermanence just gives answers to like meta decks. The only deck that doesn't really do as much against is Dragon Link, because really the best card to hit at that point would be like Tracer or LP. So I think Infinite Impermanence is just a really solid card, and it's good just to have generic effect negation in this deck, because the deck doesn't really have a lot of negation. It's more like controlling the duel through popping and destroying cards and preventing your opponent from getting set up. Infinite Impermanence just allows you to have like a generic answer to pretty much any monster effect. For the rest of the traps, I do play triple Torrential Tribute. The card is really amazing this turn. You can get like, make your opponent go -4 depending on what they're playing, and it allows you to stop your opponent from comboing you, so I really like it for that reason. Then for the next traps are Sinister Shadow Games. It's just really good to get your Shaddoll engine set up. Also, if you open this plus like let's say your Shaddoll Schism first turn, and you really don't have like any other things to like combo into with Shaddoll Schism, this card just allows you to play out of that situation super easily. And I think Sinister Shadow Games is just a really good setup card. Get your engine started, using these to get you additional draw power, all that fun type of stuff. Then for the rest of the traps, double Punishment. I was originally playing 3 Punishment, and I do like Punishment at 3, but I cut it down by 1 because I needed room for other generic outs and generic answers, and I felt like Punishment, since it's already searchable, I'm already playing so many Ecclesias that it shouldn't really be an issue to not see the card, or to see the card, and that's why I cut it down to 2. Because 3 was a little bit of overkill, and I felt like 2 might be just better overall. And at locals, yeah, it was definitely better overall. Then I play 2 copies of Dinomist. I've seen a lot of people play this card in the past, and I never played it because I was always like, it was really hard to get hand advantage. And then I started thinking about more and more. I realized Shaddolls, Eldlich if you don't have a send, all that type of fun stuff that you need to get out of your hand. So I decided to throw in Dinomist, and Dinomist is just super good. It's a banish as well as a card out of your hand, and it's not like a discard effect because it's not cost to discard or anything like that. Like in that respect is what I mean. The cost is like to target, so I felt like this card was just super good. It allows you to get your Shaddolls off if you draw into them in brick. So it's like keep it or try it out the 2 Dinomist, and it was really nice. Next I play Double Trap Trick. Trap Trick is just super good. Honestly though, it's only really good first game, or like if you're going first, and usually if you win the dice roll, it's really good if you open it. But if you're going to go second, I would just side this card out, or if your opponent's like going to make you go second, it's just really good to side this card out because it can be a brick in that respect, and there's so many other bear traps that you want to see. And sure, there's like 2 grab traps, but it really only like doesn't really do enough going second. So I decided to like mostly side it out when I went second. But other than that, this card was just super solid. Next, I play Triple Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is really good, just against almost any meta deck during this format. So I decided to leave this card in to keep playing at 3, and every single time I managed to resolve it, it was really good. Plus, it's pretty much the only answer you had to access code with this deck, like if they're going for access code OTK. So you kind of have to play Solemn Strike. I would be playing Solemn Judgment as well, either inside or main, but I'm playing 60 cards, and Solemn Judgment is only good going first. So I decided that Solemn Strike is just the more better card, a better answer during any time in the duel than Solemn Judgment. And then for the final trap, final trap is 1 Shaddoll Schism. And Schism is just super amazing because it allows you to banish Shaddolls from your graveyard, get out your fusion, and in this deck, you're only ever going to really resolve Shaddoll Fusion once or twice, and Sinister Shadowgames is a card that you only really want to resolve once, so Schism just allows you to continue grinding for a much longer time period, and it's also searchable off of App Cologne, and technically searchable off of Nadir Servant. Moving on to the extra deck, I play 2 copies of Shaddoll Winda. Winda is just super busted, honestly. It just wins games. Like, once again, this is going to be against my Orcust opponent. When I play against Orcust today, I can make this on their turn and basically chain Schism to like one of their Orcust effects as special summon. So I would just chain it to their World Wand when they banish it from the graveyard to grab one of their banished guys. So I would just chain Schism, summon out Winda, and yeah, it was super nice when I did that because then they already special summoned. So the card was just super solid. For the next Shaddoll I play is double App Cologne. App Cologne is really good because it's negate on summon, like a permanent negate, which is awesome in this game, just having a permanent negate on any of your opponent's cards. And then also when it's into the graveyard, you can add a Shaddoll from your graveyard or deck to your hand, and then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, or discard 1 card. Ugh. Not send, discard. Discard 1 card. And App Cologne was just really nice for that this week. And you send off in Nadir, and it's like super plus. Then for the final Shaddoll I play is Double Construct. I play 2 because I feel like 2 is correct. You don't want to play like too much, plus you have like a really full extra deck with all the Nadir, Shaddoll, etc. stuff in it, so I feel like 2 Construct is just the best answer, or the best option. And also it just is free removal, and it also sends from deck to grave on summon, so it allows you to fuel Schism even more. Then for like send targets off of Nadir, the main send targets are Chimera Flesia. Initially, I wasn't even going to play this card. Most people have forgotten what it does, but during the standby phase, after this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to search for a fusion. You get to search for any fusion. And any fusion in this deck is a super power card, because Red Eyes Fusion, that's a Dragoon. Shaddoll Fusion, that's any Shaddoll you want. So, Chimera Flesia just grabs you whatever you need, and it allows you to go basically equal with any of your Dogmatika cards, but technically you're going to get way more pluses off of saying Chimera Ecclesia in the long game. So it's a good grind game card, which, I think people should at least consider this card just because of how grindy it can make your deck. In addition to what it already is, Nitsis, extra pop, just super nice. One Titanic Class, this allows you to search for special summon in the end phase, so if you open let's say Punishment and no other Dogmatika cards, you can send Titanic Clad and get into your Dogmatika engine during the end phase. And yeah, that was just super, super clutch. And then finally, for the other 2 send targets, I play 1 Wind Pegasus, which when one of your cards is destroyed, you can banish it from your graveyard and shuffle one of your opponent's cards into the deck, which is actually pretty good because also people forget about this card all the time. You'll send it to your graveyard early on in the duel, and then later on in the duel they'll destroy something, and then they'll completely forget that. Hey, Wind Pegasus is in the grave, and you just get a shuffle opponent's card back into the deck, which is really good. And then 1 copy of Omega. Omega just allows you to loop stuff in your graveyard, but it can also be special summoned in this deck super easily off of Ash plus any of your Golden Land cards, which feels super, super good. Then I play 1 copy of Dragoon. Everyone knows what Dragoon does at this point, but it just wins games. 1 copy of Gravity Controller, just link down one of your dolls, get stuff back from your graveyard. 1 Nightmare Phoenix, free back row removal, and then 1 Link Spider if you need to get rid of any of your Golden Land guys. And then finally for the side deck, triple Gamma Seal. This is to out negate, especially Dragoon. 1 Dragon, just in case you need it. Also, it's back row removal, so it's just an additional way to get rid of back row. 1 copy of Maximus. Sometimes this card's really good in certain matchups, so you might as well slide the copy just in case. So it's worth leaving room for. Then triple Cosmic Cyclone. Cosmic is just spot removal, banishing, so I feel like it's one of the best, if not the best, generic back row removal cards. Outside maybe Harpy's Feather Duster or Lightning Storm, but outside those, that card's really good. And then also, of course, Harpy's Feather Duster just clears everything. Then for the blowout card of the deck, Evenly Matched, it just does so much that you kind of have to play it, and it's just really, really amazing. And then finally, if your opponent makes you go first, triple Anti-Spell, because this card is just really good. Or if you're going to game 3 and you're going first, or game 2 and you're going first, anything like that, Anti-Spell is pretty much good against everything right now. And that's the deck profile. I will leave my matchups down in the description below, so if you guys want to see what I played against, just check the description. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, comments, etc., please comment them below, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.